All right, we're live here with you, Fatboy FadeAway Sports, episode 234. Hope everybody had a good week out there. We're joining you Sunday morning. Big shout out to Aaron, Brandon, Parker, Carson jumping on the baseball show last week as they gave us their little rundown of the All-Star game and their experience, sharing some stories there with it. Obviously, Jordan Maxon as well from Ohio Sports Talk jumping on as well. So big show last week. That was fun, T.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun to do that again. Get those kids on.
I was talking
They
to
were
Aaron
talking
about
about
it.
it. It's fun to see young kids talk about baseball.
It was, and I was talking to Aaron about it, and she shot at the idea of, I was like, oh, when they do fantasy football, so I was like, well, we could definitely do something around that. So there, we could to start out the year. So everybody, so hopefully we'll get them on again here soon, and we can talk a little fantasy football with them.
Jordan should be happy now. The Bengals finally signed Stewart, the first
He,
round, to a
I'm,
4-year contract.
I'm sure he is thrilled. I'm sure he'll be talking about that on Monday on his show there, Ohio Sports Talk. But yeah, shout out to the Weiss family for helping us out. Jordan joining us last week. We'll keep you guys going here. Episode 234, like I said, in the books. Well, I mean, it was kind of a weird, right? We had like Hogan die. You had, I mean, I don't know. I don't remember Ozzy so much from his singing, but obviously the TV show kind of was my first kind of introduction to him on MTV. And then we had the guy from the Cosby Show. So like everybody was like, it comes in threes. But I think for probably us, it was kind of, I mean, nobody can live forever, but Hogan, he would look like he was getting a little worse over time. You would say here, and which is usually what happens. But you want to say what he wants. So there's a lot of like racist stuff that came out. I've heard, a lot of wrestling people are not fans of him. But whether you like him or not, the fact is he was probably the most popular guy for this whole run until you got to The Rock and maybe Stone Cold at that point. Wouldn't you say, T?
I think he's the most popular ever. I think he changed the business. I mean, there's more. Well, I'm not gonna say more. You judge that for yourself. But he was like the biggest superstar, or one of them. He seemed bigger than life, like when he was in Rock 3, and he's Hulk Hogan, like hulking out. And he was. I remember like being like, that's something I couldn't imagine myself getting to as like an entertainer ever. Like that guy's the biggest in the world right now. He did his bad things. Like I remember coming in from my room, or from my room into my parents' room, wrestling my dad, and like Hulk Hogan versus this guy named Buttwinkle. Funny enough, just wrestling, pretend, and yeah. So like Hulk means a lot in like who he was as Hulk Hogan. Yeah, it sucks he did those negative things. I know those happened. I do think worse of him for it. But there's still those memories I always have. Like Hulk Hogan, like the legend.
It kind of was like a comic book figure, basically, with like the hair and like the red, like all like that's kind of like when it was in his prime. Yeah, in his prime in the '80s. What did you think, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, I think his most memorable moment was beating Sergeant Slaughter in WrestleMania, because Sergeant Slaughter was like Iraq, and it was like Hulk Hogan was from America. It was
That
during
wasn't Sergeant Slaughter, was it?
Yeah, Sergeant Slaughter became like a heel, a bad guy, so he converted to Iraq. And then like Hulk Hogan was America. It was kind of like a Gulf War thing. So I thought
Okay.
that was yeah.
Gosh, I feel like it
Who
wasn't.
was the other Middle Eastern guy
No,
that you
I
had?
feel like it was the other guy that you're thinking of. Is it like Sheik, or I think it's like Sheik
Yeah,
or
named
something.
Sheik.
The Iron
Yeah,
Sheik.
but he joined him, and then he became like he was supporting Iraq and became a heel.
Gotcha. Okay, so I don't remember that part at all. I obviously first kind of really remember him with NWO. That's like for me, if like you're thinking wrestling, that's kind of where I just it wasn't into wrestling when Hogan was like in the '80s. And I mean, obviously I heard of him, seen him on TV, but he wasn't. I just wasn't watching it like that. So when NWO came around, that's probably when my first like real like Hogan memories kind of start at the end, and then everybody loves him for the Rock right here, right? It's the passing of the torch where he slams and he starts hulking up one last time. So and this is the match I kind of remember too a little bit. This one right here is he kind of starts. Uh oh.
He was supposed to be the heel in this match too.
I always thought he
And
was. Yeah, go ahead, Bree.
you kind of came through late because he had some great matches before these, like Ultimate Warrior title for title and Macho Man and stuff like that. So if you're not remembering him until the NWO, you must have been started watching wrestling later.
Definitely. I see 96 he joined WCW. So I would have been 12. I think that's about right exactly when I started probably started watching it a little bit more. It was around that time, 7th grade with Degeneration X and all that stuff. So that's kind of what my first memories of it. But I don't know. Just wanted to start out there just because I thought he obviously a big superstar, right? Obviously,
movie Mr. Danny with Hulk Hogan?
no, I have not seen that one. What was the one? He even got into social media stuff, right? He had that show, right? The family it followed the family around, where they got that. Right, Brian? Wasn't his daughter even a singer or something like that?
His son and his daughter, and like anytime anybody became interested in his daughter, he would get really overprotective and like pull the guy aside and say, I used to wrestle for a living.
Don't make me Hulk up. I will take you down.
Do you remember when he joined like one episode of Baywatch where he was trying to save like a restaurant, and then Ric Flair was the bad guy and he was like the rich owner who was trying to tear down the restaurant? So I thought that was always funny.
I do not remember that, but I'll have to look that up here, see if I can find a little Hogan Baywatch. Any excuse to get a little.
Probably jealous of those pecs.
We could, yeah, the tan. What a tan. So we had that right this week. Kind of start out. Like I said, Ozzy as well. I always remember him from that show. Like, could never understand a word he was saying. Could never understand.
Drugs during the 80s.
Well, yeah, probably even started before that.
Biting off the bat's head, like just the folklore of that.
That's
Like a psycho person.
So and that was kind of. I'll get to. I want to kind of get to Happy Gilmore 2 at the end here before we get to winners and losers. So if you guys have any more entertainment stories of the week, we get started there. Tyler, any final thoughts on anything like that this week before we get to MLB?
Nah, not too much.
Our guy on the A's, 6 for 6, Mr. Kurtz here. We'll kind of see it sits from the week here in the background. They called him up, first baseman out of Wake Forest. Their 4th overall pick last year. 4 home runs, 19 total bases. Was it Thursday night? No, Friday night, I believe it was. 4 home runs, last one off of position players, so take that for what it was. But it said somebody sent me something that maybe it was UT that he'd have 5 home runs if he played in like 3. It was like Fenway, Wrigley, or I think it was City Park. He would actually have 5 home runs based on his hits, if that's the stadiums he played in that night. But Tyler, the A's cannot produce pitching anymore, but this guy looks like he's going to be the real deal for him.
Yeah, you remind me. I think someone showed me a quote. Yordan Alvarez, like he says, he's gonna crush the ball, and when he hits it in the air, it's gonna go for a long time.
I mean, he barely hit some of these,
and he makes solid contact regularly. Like it's not like a regular, like it's a lot of strikeouts. He strikes out a little bit, but nothing you can't handle from a guy who can hit the ball that hard.
6 for 6 with 4. I mean, like that's a stud. I mean, he's got 23 homers on the year. I mean, he gets 2 more hits yesterday, just measly singles, but they're that as well. I mean, we haven't spent a lot of time breaking down the A's because they haven't deserved it. But this guy, the problem with them is they don't have their hitting and pitching lined up with their young guys, with the young pitching staff. But the offense is legit. I mean, we'll see what they do with Rooker and that stuff. And then there's rumors of them trading Miller. I don't know. They do have to figure out a way to get some young pitchers. I know they drafted their top pick this year was a guy from Florida State. So maybe he next year or something like that can maybe come on midseason. But again, that's so they don't really have their timeline set up very well with some of their young hitters. So it'll be interesting what they do. But I just think the Kurtz guy, I mean, he looks to be pretty special. So maybe, like I said, it could be a one-off and maybe he struggles, but he doesn't seem to like strike out a ton. He makes good contact, like you said. He's a massive human being, which helps him when he hits in there. I don't know. It looks like to me they maybe have their best hitter since Giambi or Tejada. That's my thoughts on it, Brian.
I guess they were comparing the guy they took in the first round of Florida State to. I guess he could possibly be the next Chris Seal. So that's a good thing.
I mean,
Did he slipped outside the top 5?
that happens. Mike Trout went number 24 or whatever. Somehow he slipped down to there. You know that.
Like a unique pitching style that's kind of comparable to Seal. So that's why they're saying that too.
Yeah, he was supposed to be they had him as like a top 5 pick when the season kind of first started. Ratings are up this year. Any surprise anybody in MLB? The ratings are up a decent amount. I mean, like what do you say? Like not like NFL levels where it's like 20%, but I'd say for baseball he takes 7%. That's a little, especially for the primetime games they're up, which for me kind of it matters a little bit more than like just your regular season one because it shows that when you have a game on your network on your main networks, they're gonna people are tuning in. So and it we'll see what anything. I know, Brian, you gave up in May on the package, the MLB package. I'm not sure if it was just the disappointment of the A's that sent you down, but I've enjoyed it. This been one of the seasons I've enjoyed actually the most recently. Too bad Aaron Judge goes down yesterday, but I know I'm kind of I know I'm far and few between people. Most people are like, they fall in love with the monopoly, the NFL, and that kind of stuff. But I've enjoyed this baseball season. Maybe doing the podcast helps with, but there's been a lot of good storylines this year, and I don't know, T. What do you think? Anything for the 7%? Is that the rules maybe finally kicking in?
I think it's the rules, the speed of the game, not all the pitching visits from the catcher every 3 innings, go over signs and whatnot. It's been a good year. There's young superstars. There's older superstars. There's guys breaking out like Cal Raleigh. The Bobby Witts are huge. And you see those I think baseball allowing video on the internet when they tried to restrict it for so long really was killing the game. Like because you couldn't watch anything. Like even a highlight, you could look up Barry Bonds highlights and find nothing on YouTube. Or
yeah.
Ken Griffey Jr. And now it's all over the internet, and I think that's really helped also. Like just allowing baseball highlight packages and like plays and stuff like that, and games on YouTube.
I was thinking that John Boy probably had a little bit of a factor too with some of this stuff. Like I know it's like just because he was able to break it down differently for a lot of younger generation. Just I don't know. I feel like he made a difference. Now it sounds weird, but I do think he's kind of helped a little bit with some of the baseball media aspect of it, and just the way they kind of look at it. I definitely don't agree with all his takes, but I just think the way that he does the videos and stuff are so well done. That even just your average, not even baseball fan can can tune into that for like 5 minutes. Like I'll see a breakdown of Aaron Boone going off, or something like that. Like they'll want to see that, or probably they'll have something with the Machado thing from last night. So I think that's all really good stuff. I just thought it's interesting that the ratings are up that much because it's been going down, but they obviously baseball's at another breaking point this offseason with a strike potentially looming. So we'll see if they can get that take. What do you think, Brian? Are you surprised it's up?
Yeah, I mean when the A's were good at the beginning of the year, I was definitely more excited with the rules format than they had in the past, and I just noticed it's just even with the pitch count, it just seems like it brings more excitement to the game compared to previously.
I think nobody wants to sit there for 4 hours and watch a game. It's just never going to happen. So that's not going to happen at all. They got the NASCAR game this Saturday. Obviously, I won't be watching it at the wedding, but I saw the layout for it on the track. So that seems kind of ridiculous, but it is what it is. I'd rather have them play in different places, but I mean, I guess what it is.
Baseball on a NASCAR track.
Yeah, it's I forget which one it's at. Somewhere in Georgia, I believe, right? I feel that's in Atlanta, but maybe not. I'll have to relook where it's at. But it said the Reds versus the Braves, and it's just laid out on a track right in the middle there with it. Like I said, my vote's for Alcatraz. Go to the moon and play. Yeah, set up a baseball field there at Alcatraz. Let's see what you got. I think it'd be fun if they did a game like even like a college, like one of the better, like if they did one at Omaha or something like that, like they did a game there. That's probably what I would maybe do. I mean, it's simpler, but that's maybe where I would do a game next or something like that. But I've always liked the Field of Dream ones and stuff like that. Giants, they've been struggling again. I was listening to they lost the first two to the Mets. I mean, I was listening to stuff before they started the series with the Mets, and the guys on the morning show on the radio, they were saying that Buster won't sell even if they get swept by the Mets because of the thing with Devers and all that. Here's how the game ended last night. Runner on the second. Was it Bailey up? I think Bailey was up, hit a shot down the line. Here it is.
2-1. Line caught by Alonso, and the ball game is over. Oh. Pete Alonso going as high as he possibly could to pull down that bullet off the bat of Patrick Bailey.
And the Giants actually hit a couple balls really hard last night in the ninth inning that didn't reward them at all. Just one mistake, but again, not enough. One mistake by Ray, and gives up the double there with it, and they ended there. Yes, Kurtz is the man. He looks unbelievable. Flea market. I like him right now. We're just talking about how much of a beast he is. We're getting to the Giants there, though. T, from your end, they're not going to sell, are they?
No,
it doesn't seem like Buster.
They don't have anything to sell. What are they going to sell?
I mean, they'd be giving up like their what's the reliever, Rogers or something like that.
I wouldn't care if they gave up Rodriguez. They got something back worthwhile, like a hitter. They need hitting. The pitching they seem to be able to find and get guys who can handle themselves for the most part. The hitting's just god awful. No matter what they do, they bring in Adames, they bring in Chapman, they bring in Devers. There's just too many automatic outs. Like Bailey, who's a great defender, but I don't know, 206 just doesn't cut it. And then Jung Hoo doesn't hit for any power in center field.
Almost last night, almost.
29 other parks had said that it would have been a home run or something, but he doesn't do that consistent enough. Casey Smith doesn't blow your socks out. I don't know. It's just a offensive team that needs Adames and Devers to be difference makers. They haven't done that yet.
Can't hear him on the right. Tyler, you might be referring to Tyler. I could hear it, but he did have a little background.
An issue hearing Tyler too, barely.
He has a little. It does sound a little whispery. I do agree, but So the Giants though we'll see what they do at the deadline. I'm kind of.
I guess my 2 cents is I thought that Devers was going to make more of an impact. It feels like he just isn't one of those things that maybe he makes more of an impact next year. I don't know. It's just you would think he'd be like a big jolt to that offense, and that hasn't been the case for the Giants.
I mean, but the reality is this too, right? Like you can't. I mean, as much you are right about that, but the reality is too, like in baseball, you can't just have one guy. Usually, like they're not even having guys set him up very well. I mean, Adames is starting to play a little better, but he's not. He's not like we say just consistently on base. But I agree. Devers, he got an error last night. They are playing him at first base more, so he's getting that opportunity a little bit as well. So I don't know. I agree with you, Brian. I thought he would come in and make a bigger impact as well. But I think you're right. I think maybe going into next year, that's where they'd probably be a little bit better. But I'm curious what they do at the deadline. Tyler, I kind of feel like they just might play a boring Central and basically do very little, like just add a reliever or some sort of just small time hitter, right?
I don't know. They can't go for it unless you're getting a stud. You're not getting better with.
I mean, there's
too many automatic outs.
They're only 7.
No matter what they do. Yeah, but like Luis Matos, Yastrzemski, you're not getting enough hit. Kinger, Bailey, they suck.
Yeah, let's see. You're basically, you've got as much as you could ask out of Flores, basically, right?
And he's been terrible the last month.
I mean, you basically got and then who's the left fielder that just has been
Matos? No,
Ramos. I mean, that play last Sunday versus
unbelievable. He's been terrible in the field.
I like, no, don't step in first. No, go back. like, woo! I feel like that's happened to him a couple times this year, where he has issues.
Oh, he's been terrible.
So you have that issue with him as well. So the Giants, you got to be frustrated with them at this point.
I mean, if you told me that Verlander would have one win in the middle of July, like.
He finally got his first win though. He didn't get that.
Yeah, he got one yesterday or 2 days ago.
He finally got his
Took
first
him till
win.
mid-July to get what?
He got it up there. Brian, this is what the racetrack llooks like for Saturday. I don't know if you can see, but it's basically that's what that kind of. So I got it all set up.
So they're putting like a baseball field in the middle, basically.
Yep, that's exactly what they're doing. They're putting a baseball field just in the middle of it. So that's the idea there at that. What do you just before I kind of move on to football here real quick, I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on so I did a show on seventh inning stretch, Blue Jays, Brewers. Can they actually win the World Series? Do you guys actually think I actually think they're set up. I obviously know the Brewers have issues, but I think they're actually set up to maybe make it. What do you think, T?
I don't think they have enough.
Blue Jays are pretty loaded.
They could. The Blue Jays, I think, can make the World Series more than the Brewers.
Here was my big argument for the Brewers was the offense is not like any other team in MLB. They put the ball on the ground a ton, especially their first three guys. They make you they force you they do a lot of things on the bases. They force you to play good defense. Let's put that. They make you usually have to play pretty good defense to beat them. And then I think the acquisition of Miz it's kind of like this extra jolt they get now. They literally with Woodruff back as well. There's a potential that they have three guys along with Peralta that could. I mean, I and their bullpen's been really good. The Williams and Hader hasn't been a massive loss for them either at this point. So I still think they need one more piece, and they've been getting Vaughn. He's been awesome for them. So I don't know. I think getting Miz there that's throwing 101 is definitely a kind of a little boost there. Let's put it that way. So that gives me makes me feel better about their World Series chances. I do like the Blue Jays better because their offense to me is just a little bit more powerhouse, and you saw that with the Giants. They make you throw a ton of pitches.
Oh yeah,
they make you really work.
Good at bats, a lot of home runs, a lot of walks.
Yep. So it sounds like you're not sold on either one.
No, I like the Blue Jays. I like Bob said. I like Vladdy as a special player. The offseason additions they had in the pitching, they've been good.
So that's what I had there with as well.
I wouldn't put them as World Series favorites, even though they have the best record in baseball.
Yeah. Hey Brian, jump back on. You're going under the water on me. Jump back on. What do you? Just real quick before I get to Hall of Fame, they signed Melvin. Is there a chance he can still get fired off season?
Is there a chance he gets fired? Probably not. I don't think so. But
if
I was the GM, there would be a chance he'd get fired. I'll tell you that.
Hall of Fame.
Buster pulls it off.
No, but he just gave him an extension. Then see ya.
Yeah. Crazier things have happened.
That's true. What do you think Hall of Fame this weekend?
I found it funny just their ages. These are three guys that were we saw from rookie to by prime. And the people who didn't get in, I'm we're better than these guys. So I just had that. That was my thought. I was it's just so weird how some guys get in the whole thing. Obviously, Sabathia probably deserves to get in. Ichiro's an automatic. Wagner, I don't know. Sabathia he was good, very good. I don't know.
I feel you've kind of turned me around a little bit around on Sabathia. And he was a stud, but he did. It's not like every year he was dominant. I guess was the
But he had bad years.
Yeah, I mean I don't know. I was anti-Wagner too. I still just don't. I don't know. I mean, he was a stud too.
The playoffs are just so bad.
I know, and people really don't judge. Wagner was a tough one for me. Flea market. I see some other because again, I'm thinking, well, why the heck is Francisco Rodriguez not in? And Rodriguez got 4.2% of the votes. I'm he basically was the same guy on the American League, maybe a little less dominant in terms of some regular seasons. But as we know in the postseason, literally had one of the greatest first-year runs relief pitcher you can have. And I think he might still have the same record. So, I mean, he was there with it. So, I don't know. Oh, yeah, Tyler would love to have Big Floppy or Lofted in.
I agree. Ken needs to be in. You think, when you remember watching baseball, wasn't Andrew Jones as good as Billy? He was the best defensive center fielder since Griffey, and probably, but even after that, Andy hit 50 bombs some years. I don't know how Andrew Jones doesn't get in or isn't in already.
Well, me and Logan were having this discussion on one of the 7 things. He brought it up. I'm going to look up these numbers. I know it's close though. I'm going to look it up here in just a sec. He had the he played himself out of the Hall of Fame almost, and he was thinking about guys right now. We had a discussion about Mike Trout. Is Mike Trout played his way out of the Hall of Fame? Let's say his career ended tomorrow or something, right? He's not even at 1,500 hits, stuff like that. So I still think Trout would be a Hall of Famer. We discussed that, but there are certain guys that might be playing themselves out of the Hall of Fame, and Logan's point there was that his second half was so bad that he played himself out of the Hall of Fame. So I don't know. That would be my only argument for it on that side of it. But what do you think?
I'm not gonna judge you in your worst years as your aging. Like, what was your prime? What did you do when you were young? Like, and it wasn't an extended period. It wasn't 3 years we're talking about. He had a good career.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I'm not gonna judge you for past your prime stuff too much. Like, obviously it comes into consideration, but I still think Andrew Jones is a Hall of Famer.
No, I hear you. He's. I want to get Wagner's stats up here real quick because you'll see Wagner has a few more. Well, they put the little green mark.
The playoff numbers.
No, this will be just his regular. You might not be able to see them, so I'll read them to you too. There, it's kind of on the screen there right there. But so basically, the WAR Wagner 27-7, 24-2 Rodriguez. Games, innings pitched right about the same. Wins, loss, right about the same. Wagner has a little better percentage at 47-40. It's a relief pitcher, though. 15 more saves for Rodriguez. ERA 2.31 to 2.86. ERA 1.87, 148 plus. Wagner had 50 more strikeouts, and Rodriguez had 89 more walks. Rodriguez has a championship, one less All-Star, and then one more Rolaids relief performance. So to me, you look at those numbers and it's like, how is 176.6? That's to me, I'm sorry, those numbers are like, way off. It's like, no, they're not. He's got the ERAs right there. I don't know, Brian. To me, Rodriguez was just as good as Wagner.
I don't know. I think you're kind of being hard on Wagner. He was really good back in the day, and I think he's deserving of being in the Hall of Fame personally.
Well, I'm not trying to necessarily rip Wagner. I'm more trying to just understand the process of how we get to that big of a gap, I guess, between two of the best relief pitchers at the same time. I guess that's where, for me,
who cares about steroids? Put Barry Bonds in the Hall of Fame. He's the greatest baseball player of all time, whether or not he took steroids or not.
Yeah, Sheffield, all those guys should be. They should be at the Hall of Fame. Like Manny Ramirez, what are we doing? I agree. So, but not to take anything away from the guys that got it. Like you said, Wagner had a great career. It's just understanding. For me, it's like I don't know. There's a huge gap in some of these guys with a difference. Yeah, K-Rod was right there. I mean, he did have the he ended not as well with the Brewers and the who was it? Pitched for Brewers and Mets, but he did have still some good years. He still had a good season with the Brewers. It just wasn't like as dominant, like a 1.75. But he played a few more games with Wagner. But I don't know. Wagner was Wagner was born right in. I know. I mean, everybody loved Wagner for our fantasy baseball. We were big fans of him.
13 Ks per day.
Yeah, no, it's pretty incredible. He made the Hall of Fame, but good for them. You got Ichiro and Sabathia and Wagner there, and then you got Dick Allen representing the older group, and then Dave the Cobra Parker. So we'll see who does the speech for him as he gets inducted today as well. So
I say Dave Henderson but I guess I don't know. Is Dave Henderson even?
No, he's not on. He's not eligible anymore. I mean, he maybe could get in by the Veterans Committee now, but I'd have a hard time.
He could do a speech for Dave Parker.
Well, Dave Henderson passed away though 8 years ago, but he won't be able to do it.
He has risen
in heaven. He will do a speech for it. They have lost like a few players for that team now.
I wonder why.
Henderson. They've lost Tony Phillips as well. Bob Welch.
The greatest.
Dave was the man. But yeah, Dave Parker, Bobby Jenks. Yep, Bobby Jenks passed away here soon. So yeah, baseball's had some guys here pass away as well. But yeah, that was a good conversation in baseball this week. Again, be sure to tune into. Yep, Ricky too. Ricky was the man. He would tell you he was the man. So yeah, as we get into NFL a little bit, the Raiders continue to do Raider things. They signed defensive tackle last year. It's supposed to be a big signing, Wilkins. Brian apparently tickling toes, and he's out with it. Thanks, man. Appreciate you tuning in this morning. Always appreciate your insight as well. We'll see you. Maybe if you want to jump on seventh inning stretch, let me know.
It sounded like they wanted him to get a certain surgery, and he didn't agree with it. So and there was some video of him dancing or something, and then I guess after that he got released by the Raiders.
I see, and see. What did I hear? The guy sent me from? He goes, the one I saw was Christian Walker allegedly tickling a man's toes repeatedly and super weird. never touch another man's toes. Never.
They're not pull people's toes.
Toes can be sensitive, Tyler. We know that. We don't want to tickle the toes. I don't know. This sounds a little different to me than just not. I don't know. This is just another Raider thing. I'm telling you. It's just it adds to the list. Maybe you could say it's the gum coming in trying to get people out, but maybe because Casey's not on, Brian, you'll try to keep me motivated for the Raiders. I know if Casey is on, you like to beat him down.
I think there's a reason for you to be positive. I mean, I love the way they're building the offense, and it's like, maybe Wilkins wasn't a good fit, but you still got Crosby. You still got the guy you took in the first round this year. So I don't know. It's just like, I just feel like there's reasons to be optimistic this year if you're a Raiders fan.
Mike, do they beat the Patriots week 1? You said no to me a couple weeks ago. You said no. You said they're getting killed. You think they're gonna win? Now you got the Raiders beating the Pats.
I did. I think I was just saying that because Casey was razzing me, but realistically, I think you guys could beat the Patriots week 1.
On the road. I don't know. We'll see, T. That will be. Could you imagine they lose, though? It's all back to square one. It's all
our buddy Matt Lunsell gave me a call, and what did he say during the phone call? He says, "Let me guess, Darren's being negative about Geno Smith." And I told him, you got that right. I
mean, like I said, I think they have a chance. I mean, I think the best thing for them going is the rookie running back. I think him and Bowers are their best. That's maybe where I feel a little better at. We'll see. Can the defense get back to the level it was 2 years ago? We'll see. I'm always waiting to see with the Raiders now. 2 decades has allowed that. So we'll see what happens there with it. They cut Wilkins, though. Not a surprise move, though. If you really think about it from just being a Raiders fan all these years, like they just make odd moves. I always think of the cornerback they cut after they signed him to a massive contract. Was it Hall? Yeah. D'Angelo Hall, and then like 6 weeks later he's off the team. It's like, what the hell? So I don't know. They have a weird way of doing stuff.
This is the first Sunday we're gonna have till February with that there's no football. I think next Sunday's the Hall of Fame game, and that there's gonna be preseason moving forward. So
do you actually watch the preseason games, Johnson?
I get the NFL.com package where I could get. And you get out of market preseason games.
So hold on 1 second. We'll have a little baseball fun here with you. You're telling me you're willing to pay money for preseason games, but not regular season baseball games? You are not part of the 7%. You are not part of that. In the ratings view, you are not part of the. See, I just never.
I don't know what to say. I'm just more of a football guy. So
preseason football is so bad, though. It's so bad. It's come on, you got to admit that. After the first string is out, it can be rough the first 2 weeks. I mean, maybe that third game is the one, but is it 3 games now, right?
Football. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still football, though.
All right, I'll give it to you.
Do you watch the women's football games that come on that are like indoors?
The Raiders are his third favorite team. Warriors 1, A's 2, Raiders 3.
You don't win a playoff game for 23 years, Brian. You go to number 3. You should be 4. You should.
Football is not your sport.
That is not true. I don't like watching bad football, Brian. How many times I have to explain this to you? But you have went. Let's see. Let's keep that confidence going when the Raiders are 1-3 to start the season. I want to hear you build me up after that. That's the true test. Can you build me up after a bad start? That's what I want to see. When I got AOC playing quarterback for us again.
We'll probably start the season. You'll start the season and be a hater like Adam and say real football doesn't start till November.
Well, if you're trying to win a championship, yes, that's where it really starts. But we're not the Ravens, so it's not. Real football doesn't start for us then. It starts right now, August 7th.
Real football starts in August when they put the pads on.
Hey, Raiders play on my birthday, big day, August 7th. That will be their first game. Niners, are they good enough at offensive line and wide receiver? Are they good enough?
What? To play in the game, yeah, they can play in the game.
To hang with the Eagles.
I think there's something that they believe in. That's why they're not going out and getting Keenan Allen or Amari Cooper. I think that they believe that, I think at some point you have to develop these guys. And I think that's what they're trying to do. So at some point, I think they believe in the wide receiver core that they have. And I think they brought in somebody who's going to be a blocking tight end. So I think they're going to use Kittle more as a receiver this year.
I feel like I've heard that for 3 years. Kittles is going to be more of a receiver this year than he's blocking 50% of the time.
My favorite teams are Bears, Bills, Commanders, Bengals, Raiders, Panthers.
That's a quarter of the league.
I like them this year. We like them. Bears, Bills, all the bees, the killer bees. We got a lot of bees up there. Bills. What do you think? What do you think to team with the Niners in this spot?
I think the wide receivers are good enough, like to win and be good in the league. The offensive line scares the crap out of me. They stink. Outside of Trent Williams, like. The right guard's good. I can't think of it. Well, Brian, what's the guard's name that we drafted last year?
Panu.
Yeah, Pooney. Great guard. And then we have Trent, who's the best in the league, in my opinion. The rest is McKivitt stinks. He allows like 20 pressures a year or a week, it seems like. But I don't know. I think the Niners are going to be good. I don't trust
the schedule's not that hard, it looks like.
The schedule is a big help for us. I think we're favored in like 14 of our 17 games.
Oh man,
based on right now.
From week, let's say from no division games. From week 12 to week 17, you played Panthers, Browns, Titans, Colts, Bears. My God, you guys be able to. You gotta do it.
Injuries can be
more of a running team on offense, and that's going to open up the passing game. I think you're going to see, I think McCaffrey's going to look a lot better.
Brian, if they go to the run game too much early, you're going to call out Shanny for being too conservative.
Remember, it's a new era for me and Shanny. I'm okay with him.
You're going to respect the run. That's how I'm hearing.
How over under Tyler, new era for Brian Shanny. How many weeks before we get the first rip on Shanny? What are we going to? Is we gonna go? I'm gonna give Brian a little time this year. I'm gonna go week 6 for Brian to give me his first Shanny ripping.
It depends how well they're playing.
I'm gonna say it's a tough game at Tampa Bay. They lose at Tampa, and Brian comes on ripping up a new one.
I think it's when they lose in that NFC Championship game.
He goes, "Oh, that'd be good. That's a good run with Brian and Shanny to make."
Well, I think they have an easy schedule, so I don't know how bad they're gonna do this year. They could. I don't know. We'll see.
What's your favorite part of the team, Brian?
I'm believing in Shanny.
You believe him?
I said all the way to the NFC Championship game. Will you believe him if he loses another one of those?
I don't think their wide receivers are good enough right now to make it that far, and I don't think the offensive line is good enough right now. I think I worry about, and the only thing I do like is they did get the defensive coach back that I think will make a difference for them on defense. Solid. So I think he will.
We always have to get a rip from there. We always got to get a rip.
Hey, at least I was ripping both teams. So there we go. I wasn't
consistent ripping.
Consistent ripping. But I do think signing Purdy obviously gives you guys a lot of leverage and hope on that side of it. Like
Derek Carr in the first, which is an absurd comparison.
Like I said, go to the tape. Not exactly what I said at that point. I said for the first few years.
Success.
All right. You're right. Maybe you're right. He has made the playoffs more than Derek Carr did. That is for sure. All right. Rodgers or Geno Smith entering this year? Who would you rather have?
Geno Smith.
Aaron Rodgers.
I totally even forgot DK Metcalf was on the Steelers.
Yeah, they traded for him. And then they traded Pickens right after.
I totally forgot about that. So you take Geno. No, Tyler, you got Rodgers.
Yeah.
So for 1 year. All right.
Geno.
Herbert or Purdy?
Herbert.
I'm gonna go Purdy just because I include playoffs in it, and I think Purdy's had more playoff success than Herbert.
I go Derek Carr. Just kidding. What do you think, Tyler?
On like the same team, I'm taking Herbert.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather have Purdy on the Niners than Herbert on the Chargers this year. But
that's what you would have?
Yeah.
All right, that's a little bit. That makes sense. Would you rather have Caleb Williams or Tua?
I'm gonna say Caleb, even though I'm still on the fence about him.
I don't care about training camp interceptions, so take a Caleb Williams.
I just don't think he's a good enough leader to be a franchise quarterback.
You don't think painting his nails is motivating? Think that gets the motivation?
Maybe to be in the other area.
I'm a Bears fan in Chicago, and he would take Tua over Taylor. Like I said, I think that's Tua's always he's an interesting one too.
Tua's one hit away from being on a. I don't want to say that.
Yeah, hopefully Ben Johnson can help this kid, but I think they should have drafted Jaden Dillon. It's starting to look like they should have drafted Jaden Dillon.
Last year, the NFL season that I saw was East Coast Frank, just like after Miami lost and they lost Tua, and he's just like freaking out. And there's some guy standing behind him looking at him kind of weird. And I thought that was great.
Frank has lost 250 pounds, I believe.
250?
He did. 200, I think. I think it was like 580 to under 300 or something. 280? I don't know. Something absurd about it.
It's impressive. I'm impressed there. Big
It's a lot of skin.
That's a lot of extra skin. You're right about that. All right, last one I had. Stafford or Mayfield?
Stafford.
I'm going to go Mayfield.
Mayfield had traded the last year. Brian, you go there at that. All right, makes sense. All right, I'll give you one.
Jimmy got incensed on talking the gridiron when I was trying to say Baker Mayfield was good. It was like a good argument me and Jimmy got into. But
you guys did have a good argument there. I'm gonna join. I'm not gonna do talking the gridiron this year because time, but me, Jordan, and Jimmy are gonna do one on Ohio Sports Talk. I think on Labor Day. Just a little preview show. So try to get the gang back together for one show on that. All right, if I went to receiver, just real quick, would you rather have CeeDee Lamb or Brock Bowers?
CeeDee Lamb.
I'll go Brock Bowers.
All right, I'm curious on that one. Judy or St. Brown?
St. Brown.
St. Brown.
I think that one's the furthest for me apart.
They were separated by 30 yards last year in receiving.
Yeah, like you look at the 2 years previous to that, it's a blowout for Ahmad.
Who's going to be doing talking the gridiron this year? Do you know?
Yeah, Brandon's going to be jumping in on, and Dylan, and I think one other guy with it. So if you want to jump on, you should let him know. Reach out to him if on a Sunday you want to do it. I might join.
Is that the guy who's like the big St. Louis fan?
Yeah. So he's gonna do that. I just couldn't do it. The Sundays were. If I could do it every once in a while, the Sunday nights were because you have to watch all the games. You kind of, if you want to have a good show, so it was kind of, it was a lot. So that was the only problem with the kids playing sports a little bit more. So, so anyways, on that standpoint, I might still jump on and do a few shows at that point too. George Kittle or Terry McLean?
George Kittle.
Oh, all right, Terry, scary Terry.
But if I'm taking Bowers over CeeDee Lamb, I better take Kittle over.
That's true.
Terry.
DK Metcalf or Nico Collins?
I'll take Nico Collins.
Yeah, me too. Nico Collins.
All right, there we go. And the last one, AJ Brown or Garrett Wilson?
AJ Brown.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, AJ Brown.
AJ Brown too. All right, so we'll kind of do some of this at the NFL to get closer. I kind of got to get your guys' kind of thoughts on it before the actual season gets going. Anything you guys had NFL wise that you wanted to talk about as well?
Yeah, that was a great transition. Trayvon Burks breaks his collarbone. Is that the worst trade in recent memory? AJ Brown for the 18th pick, who turns into I know these trades turn out bad often.
Yeah,
but that one happened so soon, and we saw what the trade was immediately, basically.
Yeah.
Just a one-way massacre by Philadelphia.
And everybody kind of knew that when the trade was made, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, you had to think that. I guess, you're not going Trayvon Burks is going to be better than AJ Brown. He's the 18th pick. He's not the top 5 pick.
No, it's pretty. I think it definitely goes down as well. I think a lot of these NFL trades end up being so bad because the contracts force some of the trades. DK Metcalf for a second round pick. It's like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It makes sense, but it also doesn't add up all the time with like the. It's like money dictates a lot of these like trades. It seems like with the like just draft picks and stuff. So, yeah, that by far, like for receivers too, that's definitely one of the worst trades. And the Titans. Do you think they're the worst? Do you think they're the franchise in worse shape in all of sports? Or no? Now that they got Cam Ward, they're better.
The Saints are worse off than.
Okay, I'm just asking.
Yeah, I don't know. Their cap space and their quarterback situation, and I don't know. I think the Saints are worse off than the Titans. I think Cam Ward's going to end up being a good quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what there.
I think the Titans have the ugliest jerseys, the color pattern, and that type of things, and maybe the whole sports world.
It throws you off a little bit at that. Stafford is out though, Brian, for missing a little practice in the shorts. Saw that as well.
Devontae Adams can't get away from Jimmy Garoppolo.
Too much stuff. Yeah, Jimmy's back. He's going to follow wherever he goes. Devontae Adams.
The ghost that follows Devontae Adams.
What do you guys think of Happy Gilmore too? Good chance to watch it, Brian.
I've only made it halfway through the movie, so
you fell asleep.
I just was watching other stuff, and I just never got back to it.
That might get to my point of is the second one going to be too much of a flop because of sometimes when you go number 2, that goes down the toilet. It doesn't go as well when you make the second movie, Tyler. So we won't do any surprises that I guess for Brian on that one. But what did you think of the movie, T?
No, I enjoyed it. I mean, I wasn't expecting like an Oscar-nominated great comedy, but it brought it back to the original Happy Gilmore. It had some of the same characters. It had riffs off of characters and the new characters. I think the one thing they messed up was the bad guys sucked. Like if you had a funny character in that spot, like it could have been a good movie. But without that, you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That guy was terrible. Like brought nothing funny or entertaining to the movie. So like that kind of ruined it as like could have been a really good movie. I thought it was good. It was entertaining.
The first one is
the first one is bars above. I'm not trying to like, but it's worth watching. I'd watch it again. Like,
yeah, it was good. They used Shooter in a different way. So it was all right. I would say, yeah, I'd check it out. But I would temper my expectations. Yes. But there were some funny parts for sure, like the golf cart scene, just like your typical Adam Sandler kind of movie stuff, where exactly. The wife dies, like stuff like that, like your typical Adam Sandler way of stuff. Like so, he always finds a way of getting the same characters into the movies, which always cracks me up. So. I'd check it out. If you had to go out, if we had a Doug system 5 stars, what are you going? 2.5?
Yeah, 2.5.
Brian,
what are you going?
I go 2.5.
2 so far.
2 so far. Well, you still got half a movie. So
I think the first half's better than the second half. So Brian, you're in for a treat.
You'll have to let us know Sunday, Brian, when you see it. All right, winners and losers this week. Brian, what do you want to go with?
I want to start with winners, and I'm the winner this week because I got a new car, so I could take the bus. So it was my first car that I was able to finance on my own, so I'm winner.
What'd you get?
2022 Nissan Kicks.
Neon what?
Kicks.
It's like an SUV.
Brian, that brings up my next point. I should have brought it up by my worries for the Niners, your kicker. No, I'm just kidding. No, good job, Brian. That's awesome. It looks like congrats on that. It's nice when you can always finance your own stuff as well. So that's always cool, and get the new car. The new car
was very proud of me when I told him that.
That a boy. So Johnson now cruising around there in the new car. So winner of the week, you gotta get your name on the back. Shots. You gotta oh man, damn. Tyler, what do you got for winner of the week?
I have loser first. Do your go ahead for your winner.
All right, my winner. I got a few winners of the week. I got this Matt Barnes interview with Gary Sheffield was 1 hour. I don't know, randomly Matt Barnes, a basketball player, did a great job with this interview with Sheffield. It was fascinating to me, the interview with Gary Sheffield, especially like baseball. I checked that out. Thank you, Canada. 697 views for my 7th inning stretch. I just got to talk Blue Jays more often, apparently, and we get comments. So, Canada, thank you for checking out the show. I guess that's what we'll say that for that show. Brian, not me, winner of the week. Canada. We'll give Canada a rare one on this. Jesse Chavez, we remember him from the A's for a little bit. He was traded a record 11 times in Major League Baseball. He retires this week as well. Winner of the week he gets the gold card. So you get that as well. Yeah, he was good. That was a really good one, that Sheffield interview. I just was really impressed with it. And then Johnson, Santana Moss, he's going into the Hall of Fame for the Redskins / Commanders. So he also gets winner of the week. Santana Moss, an old school name out there football wise. What do you got, T, for winner of the week?
Santana Moss and Lavernius Coles always reminded me of each other.
They do.
Same guy, different team. My winner is Lillard going home. I think that's pretty cool. Like, he gets a contract to go to Portland. Yeah. And then we'll get into losers. I got Kuminga. The front office of the Warriors is pathetic for the last. I mean, they did get Butler, but you signed a guy who you have no idea what it's going to be like in a year. It's just like I don't know what the Warriors are doing. I don't know what they could do better. Like, that's the problem. They just seem like a mess. And then another loser, Jerry Jones. Just every time he speaks, big loser. He's a freaking dumbass. Just don't talk, Jerry. Things go better when you don't talk. Then Kuiper. I don't know. He ripped on Acuna for scoring from first and celebrating. And then, yeah, I don't know. Kuiper's getting on my nerves. He was a loser this week.
Good one there. I like it. Little Mel Kiper actually getting loser of the week. Johnson, what do you got for loser of the week?
I got the Oakland Athletics home run call yesterday saying it's foul when it's clearly foul. I mean, their announcers are terrible.
Chip Carey's. Was that his grandson? Or was that his son doing that? Did you hear the call, T?
Yeah, it's pathetic. Like, it's
He went online. He went online and apologized for it. I'll give him that. He said it was one of the worst mistakes he's ever made. I was like, well, I don't know if you could go that far, but that's the worst mistake you've ever made. You're doing pretty good. But yeah, that was not a fan of the Brian. This guy right here. I'll give you a loser of the week here. Your audio's going a little bad on me again, but
I'll try to find my other computer and use my computer next week. So
yeah, you'll have to try that with it. But here's this Brian with this guy doing a bullfighting thing. Let's see what happens. Oh, not good. Not good. Talk about lit up, Johnson. That's what it is. So not good at all. Absolutely gets destroyed. So he goes on. That guy gets on loser of the week. Sorry, bud. He's just lucky to be able to say that he's alive at this point. That would be part of his story as well. So I think it's loser of the week. Brian, I'm sorry. NFL training camp shorts, the videos. I just hate the slow motion videos of like, what a throw by JJ McCarthy to Jefferson. Like, God, like it's short. Look, give me a break. That stuff I just get always frustrated with. And then this rumor that North Carolina might go to the ACC. That's not good, man. I don't want to see that as well. So we got to stay there where they're at with it. Brian, good show this week. Floppy Disc, thanks for checking out the show. Brian, have a good week. All right, my friend. Football is back officially.
Yeah.
Back for Johnson. We'll see you next week.